Rain fell in sheets the day Zara was born. The kind of rain that made the earth sigh and the sky weep. Her mother, Asha, always said it was the universe marking the arrival of a soul destined to endure storms. Zara entered the world prematurely in a small rural clinic, her first breath a battle. The doctor's face had been uncertain, the prognosis guarded. But even then, with lungs still learning how to expand, Zara fought. As a child, Zara carried within her a quiet intensity. Her village was tucked between hills and tradition, a place where girls were taught to lower their eyes before they learned to read. But Zara, with eyes that always searched the horizon, was different. She asked too many questions. She climbed trees with the boys. She wasn't easy to silence. Her father, once proud of her spirit, grew weary of it as she aged. "You must learn your place," he'd say, and each time, she'd flinch but never fold. At 12, the world tilted. Her mother fell ill with a fever that burned through her body like fire in dry grass. The nearest hospital was hours away, the roads flooded from the rainy season. By the time help came, it was too late. Zara watched her mother's light extinguish with nothing more than a whisper, and from that moment, she understood pain not as an event, but as a season. Her father changed after that, harder, colder. He buried his grief in silence and expectations. He wanted Zara to marry early, to follow the path her mother never chose. But Zara had inherited more than her mother's smile. She had inherited her unfinished dreams. Asha once told her, "There's a fire in you. Don't ever let them smother it." Those words stayed with her like a compass through the dark. When she turned 15, a traveling teacher named Mr. Karim came to their village. He was quiet, kind, and brought with him a small library of books and hope. Zara devoured everything he gave her: science, history, poetry. He noticed her hunger and started tutoring her privately. Her father disapproved, but she hid the lessons like contraband joy. Then one night, her father found her books and burned them. That night, Zara packed a small bag, took her mother's scarf, and walked away from everything she knew. The road ahead was jagged, lonely, dangerous. She slept in bus stations, asked strangers for directions, lied about her age to get cleaning jobs at eateries and shops. But she kept learning, watching videos on borrowed phones, reading discarded newspapers, scribbling vocabulary in notebooks with broken spines. She found refuge in a women's shelter in the city. There, for the first time, she met girls like her, wounded but not broken. One of the counselors helped her apply for school. It wasn't fancy, but it was real. She was 17 and sat in a classroom surrounded by 15-year-olds, but she held her head high. Years passed, slowly at first. Zara worked double shifts and studied by candlelight during power outages. Her body ached. Her heart often felt too heavy. But she remembered her mother's fire. She remembered the ashes of her books and decided her mind would be the library no one could burn. She graduated top of her class. Then college. Then graduate school. She became a trauma counselor, returning to the same shelter that once took her in. She specialized in helping girls who had survived child marriages, abuse, abandonment. Her voice became a balm, her story a lighthouse. She began speaking at conferences, writing essays, building networks of support across rural regions. Her fire became a torch for others. One day, standing beneath the same hill where she once played, Zara held the hand of a girl not much younger than she was when everything fell apart. The girl had just escaped a forced engagement. Her eyes were tired but bright. Zara knelt beside her and said, "You are not broken. You are becoming." And in that moment, Zara understood the fullness of her journey. Pain had carved space for purpose. Purpose had grown into power. And power, real power, she realized, was not in never falling, but in rising again and again, until your scars became your story. She was never just a survivor. She was unbroken.